Hey you guys, thanks for watching. I have a little bit of time to make a short video, and I had a really cool thought that I wanted to share. Um, yeah. So basically, in a nutshell, the thought is you make a difference. And this isn't just like a random positive video, like, trying to make you feel good about yourself and stuff like that. Like, I hope so. I hope you do feel good about yourself. I hope this video helps you feel good about yourself. And I honestly think that this video will. But anyway, I think it's an interesting thought that I have here that I want to share. And I understand things a certain way because I'm a member in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, if you don't know. And so we put a lot of emphasis on following the Spirit, and I'm not going to get into that too much, but or at least I think I'm not. But something has been. So I figured this out when I was before I joined the church, and I was going to other churches, and I didn't completely. I suspected this, but I wasn't absolutely sure of it. And it's kind of like a method for determining whether things are true or not, actually, in a way. And so, man, this is a lot. There's a lot to say in order to explain this, I guess. But hopefully I can get this done pretty quickly, so it's not too rambly, or too long-winded or whatever. But I suspected before, when you say something that you're not quite sure about, you say it, and then you're saying it to someone, and they hear you and they listen, and they can confirm to you. They can sometimes confirm to you whether it's true or not, right? I mean, that's a fact of life. Like, if you say something you're not sure about, say you're a kid and you're in school, and you're saying it, and you're talking to your teacher, and your teacher goes, "That's right, But we as humans can do that amongst each other, because we all know different things. And say I watched Channel 2 News and saw the story about the bank robbery, and I got the story, and someone else is talking to me about it, and they weren't sure. They had heard about it, but they hadn't seen the story, and so they're talking about it, but they don't quite know, and they're not quite sure. I can confirm to them what they're talking about. That simple thing. But this is what I'm thinking about more so in this concept. So the Spirit confirms truth, and there's a lot of things that talk about light and darkness, and light is connotated as good, darkness is connotated as bad or evil. But if you think about it in terms of knowledge versus lack of knowledge, when someone is left in the dark about something, does that mean they know everything about what's going on? No, that means they're left in the dark, aka they don't know the details. There's a lot to this thing that they don't quite know. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. And so light is knowledge. Light is information. And I just wanted to make this video because I'm really excited about sharing the Spirit with people. And I'm excited about sharing the Spirit with people because the Spirit reveals truth, and truth leads to more truth. And that makes me really, really, really excited. And truth is a weapon against deception and lies and darkness. And there's definitely a lot of that in this world. There's definitely, the devil, whether you believe it or not, the devil causes a lot of confusion, or he tries to cause a lot of confusion. And he also likes to deceive, and confuse. That's like his modus operandi. But so I get really excited about the Spirit and sharing the Spirit with people. And it's funny because you can share the Spirit with people even when you're not intending to, and even when you don't have to be talking about the Book of Mormon or Jesus Christ or Joseph Smith or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Like, you don't have to be or the Doctrine and Covenants. You don't have to be talking about one of those things in order to share the truth. And that's the wonderful thing about the Spirit and the way that the Spirit works. You can actually just share truth with people, and it makes a difference. And I love sharing the Spirit with people. And the reason why this is on my mind is because I had a quick experience that happened to me this morning. I just left the Goodwill store. I had a little bit of time before I needed to get to the gym to meet my friend. And so I stopped in the Goodwill store. And I didn't find anything I was looking for, and I just kind of was looking around. But I started talking to the cashier, asking about like what happened to all their movies, because they used to have a lot more movies than they did today. And it was kind of unusual. They had such immense space on the movie rack. I was like, what's going on, guys? What happened to all the movies? I'm just curious, you know. It's not a big deal. I'm just curious. And she's talking to me, and she's giving me answers, and I'm listening. I'm like, yeah, you know, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'm not over here demanding answers or anything like that. I'm just like casually asking. But she's like, oh, but if you go to the Denton Goodwill store, they have a lot of movie selections there, and a lot of times this happens to me, where a situation where someone tells me, if I'm actually really looking for something, and someone tells me more about where to find it, a lot of times what they say to me doesn't really apply, because it's out of my realm, it's out of my normal, you know. But it wasn't today, and that's not the point, but that's part of it. I knew exactly what she was talking about. I knew with 100% certainty that what she said was true, and I confirmed it back to her that yes, what you are saying is true. That is very true. And this might sound like such a little thing, but I just acknowledge that it's not a little thing. I just acknowledge that it's a big thing, and it's a special thing. It's an interesting thing. Like, if you're not able, it's like just the ability to share truth between one another is such an awesome thing, and I just really, really appreciate that. And again, I'm super thankful. I'm super excited because, like I said, when you share the truth with people, it changes things. And you share more. You actually are sharing the Spirit with them, because the Spirit testifies of truth. And it's funny and it's cool because, like, the Spirit testifies of truth, and so many of us have the Spirit. And when I say Spirit, I mean Holy Spirit, like the Holy Spirit of God. So many of us have the Holy Spirit with us, all around us, and we interact with it all the time, and we don't even really realize it. And I love that, because so many people are so staunchly against it, against the church, or against the truth, or Joseph Smith, or Jesus Christ, or the Book of Mormon, or the Bible, and they're so against that, but they don't realize that they're actually light workers, if you will, if you've heard that term, light worker, like someone who's just basically sharing truth. Yeah. And it's an important thing, and it's a pretty simple thing. But yeah, I just wanted to share this video because I just really liked that. I really liked that it was a simple, basic conversation. It wasn't deep. It wasn't about anything important ultimately. But here's one person talking to another, and I just really liked it. We were confirming something. We were confirming, I guess you could say. I guess it's partially three-dimensional, yeah, because it's three-dimensional, but it's also fourth-dimensional. We're confirming third and fourth-dimensional facts amongst each other because, yes, Denton Goodwill it does exist, but just because it exists, I mean, we're talking about something that, it's not like saying, like, hey, this crystal is blue. Do you see this? It's blue. And then they go, oh, yeah, I see that. It is blue. That's right. But when we're talking about something, there's just a different level. It requires, I don't want to say, it kind of requires, I guess it doesn't, it might require faith, it might not. I don't know if it does require faith, but it requires more so knowledge, I guess, in the thinking about, like, yes, this place exists, and yes, And also, it's just like I love it's you know how nowadays everyone is like kind of fighting for validation, or you know, a lot. It's such a big thing nowadays. Like, thank you for like hearing me, thank you for letting me speak my truth, thank you for letting me, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Thanks for the validation. Or when people are talking and someone's saying something and someone else goes, "Oh, that's so valid. That's so valid," you know. And there's a lot of efforts to validate people nowadays, or validate things nowadays. Validate people and their feelings mostly, I'd say. That's what I'm talking about mostly. But it's a really nice thing when someone confirms to you what you know is true, because it does something. It does a lot of things, actually. It destroys, it doesn't necessarily, but it absolutely can destroy confusion, doubt, and eliminates. It instills confidence. It instills assurance. And you know, like, in other words, when I confirmed to that lady what she was telling me was absolutely true, and I knew it with absolute certainty, and I was telling the truth, and she was telling the truth, and the Spirit accorded with everything that was being said, because the Spirit testifies of truth, and the Spirit was testifying to both of us that it was absolutely true. When we had that exchange and talked about this thing, even though it was just the movies, very, very simple, and I'm so glad I got this out of that experience. Like, this is so much better than finding a book or finding a movie that I like. You know, this discovery in this video, and like the concept and the thought and everything, so much better in my opinion. But yeah, it was just really cool. I just like that, and I think maybe you guys will hear me. Hear me, please hear me about this. Like, hopefully you know exactly what I'm talking about. But like, when you know, you know. And but when you talk of it, like, in other words, so she was telling me this stuff, and I was confirming it to her, and so it gave her a feeling of validation, one way or another. In other words, it didn't leave her feeling confused. It didn't leave her feeling questioning things. It didn't leave her feeling like, oh man, I don't know what I'm talking about, or oh man, I might be wrong, or I don't know. It was a validating experience. It was a confirming experience. And I'm just glad because I think ultimately it blessed her, and she blessed me because she made me feel, she talked about Denton Goodwill. She had no idea about me, and she has no idea that I go to Denton, and she doesn't know anything about my feelings about Denton and things like that. But she blessed me because she made me think about that, and I knew exactly what she was talking about, and it was absolutely true. And we had a moment between each other where we were talking to each other, and we were confirming facts. And it was just, it was a good experience. It was enjoyable. So, yeah, it was cool. So I just kind of wanted to point this out. It's kind of a small thing, but it's actually a big thing. So I just want to inspire you guys. Talk to your friends. Talk about things that you know are true. Confirm them to each other and see where it goes. See where you're able to go. See what you find out. I love it.